The Do This podcast is part of the Win, Make, Give podcast network. On this episode of the Do This podcast, guest Megan Brenn White joins Bob Stewart and Chad Himes as they dive into real estate marketing strategies and team leadership. Discover how Megan's unique approach leverages organic lead generation through high engagement newsletters and a robust Instagram presence, boasting over 70,000 followers. Whether it's expanding in a small town market or engaging an audience with captivating property listings, this discussion offers valuable insights for real estate professionals. We hope you enjoy this episode of the Do This podcast, presented by Brivity.
Hey, you could say hi first before we jump in.
Hi, hello everybody.
Good thing you said hi first there, Bob.
I did. I said hi first. I didn't say hi to Megan. I just came in the room. I was muted. I think I said hi when I was muted. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the end of the year. Megan Brenn White, are you guys ready for the holidays up there in upstate New York?
It snowed about 8 inches, so we are 100% ready for the holidays.
You guys are ready for the holidays. Okay. My wife is super jealous, by the way. We live in Seattle. We never get snow here, but it's like her dream is a white Christmas. So you're living my wife's dream in upstate New York this year.
I'm ready, Bob Stewart.
Look at Chad. He's got a hat.
I went and got the hat. The green screen's giving me issues, though.
Oh my gosh, that's super funny. You look like an occasional wizard.
Yeah, an occasional wizard.
All right, the hat's done.
Megan, do me a favor, as Chad and I like to do. We're going to let you introduce yourself to the audience. So maybe tell us a little bit about Megan Brenn White, maybe your real estate team. Where do you do it at? Give us kind of the 30,000 foot view of you as our guest today.
All right, awesome. So thanks for having me. Always love to speak to anyone related to Brivity or Place. And so I live in upstate New York, as you were saying, in the Hudson Valley Catskills, almost an entirely second home market up here. Lived for 16 years in Brooklyn. Like many people, migrated out to the country and now live in a town with 1,200 people. Originally from Chicago, never lived in a rural area. I did marketing. I had my own marketing business for about 20 years before getting involved in real estate. Got my license in 2016. Somehow now went from that to having a team with around 25 agents. We're going to do almost 400 sides this year, and partnered with Place about 2 years ago, which has been a lot of what helped that trajectory.
Can I get some clarity that I'm not nuts and I heard that correctly? You're in a town with 1,200 people in a mostly a secondary home market, the Catskills. Everybody knows the Catskills. It's where Dirty Dancing was supposed to take place, even though that's not where it was filmed. You have 25 agents on your team and helping 400 families this year, and your town's only 1,200 people?
So the second home market is very broad here. People are just like, I want to be within 2.5 hours of the city. I want to be within 3 hours. So I realized pretty early on that I needed to have a very geographically dispersed team. So we cover, my town's 1,200 people. We cover 14 counties, which is
I want everyone to understand that, right? That's smart thinking. Don't be the person that tells me, well, my town's too small. I can't do some of this stuff. Baloney. There's a town next door and a town on the other side of it, and you can put an agent in each one of those towns and all work together and make this a success. What a brilliant strategy you started with right there, instead of just saying, well, I'm the big fish in a small pond and I can only get so big because the pond's only so small.
I will say, by the way, that I did think that at the beginning. So when I was moving up for Brooklyn, I was like, okay, if I can earn like $60,000 a year, it's so much less expensive here. I will be able to live from that. That'll be fine. And yeah, this year we're going to do, I think, like $6.7 million in GCI. So it took me a minute to realize how we could expand, but I also like hedging my bets, by the way. So I like not thinking I'm going to be, focusing even in my county. So
playing not to lose
the risk. Yeah.
What there's a pre-interview that happens here, and a lot of times we come in with an agenda, and
we're not in that pre-interview. Let's be really clear on that.
yeah, we're not. And so, so there was some back and forth about like what we were going to talk about. And I'm going to interject something that was nowhere in any of those notes.
Great.
I have a question that comes out of this because I'm curious about it. I would assume then that your team is not an everybody's in the office every morning type of a team. Is that a correct assumption?
So I will say that one of the things that is totally a correct assumption.
Okay.
And one of the things that has really helped me during COVID is my marketing business was almost all working with international universities. So for the last, like the entire time, actually my entire professional life, even before that, I have worked remotely and worked with remote teams. So that was like second nature to me. So where I am right now is a co-working space where some of us meet on Thursdays. I'm here on Thursday. People want to come. That's cool. Otherwise, we have a lot of
Co-working
meetings
space,
on
like
Slack.
you don't even have an office.
I mean, we legally have an office.
Well, of course, legally you have an office and you have to have an office,
No.
but you're not taking on the rent for this whole building for all these people that might show up or not. You've said there's no reason for that. I'm going to cut that part of the expense that so many people have.
Yeah, we're actually in the process of purchasing this amazing, like, old church that is going to be a hub for us. It has some, it has some income from rentals, but because we know people aren't going to use it that much on a regular basis, we're going to use it for events. We're going to use it for outreach to the community. We're going to use it for outreach to other agents. We're going to use it as a recruitment and retention tool. So yeah, something I would never pay for something for us that was just an office space. No way.
Okay, here's
Bob, can we go down the leadership by distance
That's
conversation?
exactly what I wanted to do.
Like, we've done this enough. I figured that's where you're going. So
yeah, my question is, how do you build culture in an environment where people are not within arm's reach of you? Because I think that's a lot of people, it's a hindrance to them even considering hiring an agent an hour and a half or 2 hours away.
Okay, so I love that question because I have often said, especially in the past couple of years, and actually especially since partnering with Place, where I have learned so much about leadership and how to become a better leader, even though I've literally been managing people for the past 30 years, not always well, and managing, not being a leader. So
welcome to the club.
So the culture of my team is the actual single most, like, the professional achievement that I am most proud of in my entire life. Like, it is collaborative. They are smart. They are curious. They are hungry to learn. They're hungry to help people. They want to help their clients. They enjoy spending time together. So we do a lot. I mean, we're on Slack, basically the internal communication thing. We use it for a lot of things. So we have a happy channel where people post if they get an accepted offer or if they're doing something else fun. We have a fair number of meetings that are either optional or not optional, that we get together and we see each other online. And then, I mean, it's interesting because of that, people develop real relationships. We have actually a mentorship program. We have agents pairing, like partnering on things. So there is actually some real world in-person interaction for sure. And I mean, honestly, I wish we were able to get together more, but for some people it literally is a 2-hour drive.
How often are you virtually together, meaning a Zoom, not meaning Slack, meaning where we're actually doing this? And how often are you IRL, right? I'll be hip, right?
Yeah,
use the terms, right?
Super hip.
How often are you doing that? Is it once a quarter, once a year? I mean, how often are you pulling everyone together on purpose?
Yeah, so I would say that, like, on Zoom, we have one, like, mandatory meeting that is from 9 to 9:30 on Mondays. We then have an hour-long Skillshare share and an hour-long practice lab on 2 different days. We have office hours. So the marketing person, I'll have office hours. Different people will have office hours where they can come
get help
and speak to other people and also see what other agents are asking. So we're on it a fair amount online. Like, I would say there are 1 or 2 things happening a day. We also built this big training platform and just process kind of thing. So we have the Upstate Curious Encyclopedia. So we're mindful about the skill shares we do. So it keeps going. So if we're like, how do you deal with a buried oil tank? Then it goes right into our encyclopedia. How do you deal with managing client expectations? Right into our encyclopedia. In person, we do try and do it quarterly. We also have senior managing partners, which is also one of the models that we meet with them once a month online and then once a quarter in person. And then at least with everybody, it's at least twice a year.
Okay.
Wow.
Where does your business come from? Like, actually, let me reframe that. You do something in your world that I think every real estate coach ever, for at least, in the past, would have said, do this, or a lot of them would, but you guys do it at a really high level. It's your newsletter. And so talk to me for a second about your newsletter, because I'm on a lot of real estate agent newsletter lists, and I see a lot of really crappy newsletters, but I've seen your open rates, I've seen your click-through rates, and they are like, so I feel like I've also seen your newsletter, by the way, just off the top of my head right now. I'm not able to differentiate it between the crappy ones I get and the great one, not because yours isn't great, but remind me why yours gets such high open rate. I mean, I think it's like 40%. Am I
over 50%?
Over 50% open rates,
8% click rate.
8% click through. That's insane. Those are insane.
How do you
numbers.
possibly get a 50% plus open rate? Because that's got nothing to do with the newsletter, right? That just got to do with getting them to open it. So is it your subject line just awesome, or is your subject line just so consistent that they're like, I want to see that? Or is that first line that I'm being teased with? How are you getting 50% of people to open anything?
So we do it weekly. We've done it weekly for ages. So to some extent, I would say that like it is way less the subject line and more that people know what to expect. So in that respect, it does follow like TikTok or Instagram, where the ones that are more successful is what people know what to expect. They open our newsletter. They know there's going to be lists. They know there's going to be a little intro from me that's personal. They know there's going to be the listings.
You write it every week? Every week you sit down and write something personal to
ChatGPT or you? Come on.
It's usually me, because it's like a paragraph.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's literally me thinking about, like, I'll put it in ChatGPT if I need to shorten it or something. But otherwise,
so like right now, it would have just been, for anybody who happens to be watching this live or around this time, it would have just been a happy holidays, quick little short message in there.
Well, it was a why you should list in winter message.
Okay.
This one was like, so often it's like, it's things I'm thinking about, or like,
I mean, because every week you're changing it though. So you're coming up with 52 opening paragraphs. It's not, it's a consistent message. Okay.
No, it's completely random, but it's random based on what, like, we also have a meeting with the listing team that's or whoever has listings, that's an hour every Tuesday. And so often they're going to be the ones who are like, we need help with these. And then it'll go with Instagram, which is our other big platform. So I think we have, 70,000. We have over 70,000 followers. So a lot of times it like mirrors it. So we want to do something to promote our farmhouses, then it'll be in both places. We want to do something to promote land or whatever, like stuff like that. That's more content. But I will say, we have an area I've realized that has very cool houses. Very cool houses.
Most vacation housing areas, the houses look pretty cool.
And we have like these, stone homes from the 18th century. We have like log cabins. We have mid-century modern. And so I was just in a tiny resort in Arizona 2 weeks ago, posted something, literally 80 people, posted something. The marketing manager from that tiny resort in Arizona wrote me immediately and said, "Oh my God, you're from Upstate Curious. I followed you guys for years." I was like, what on earth is someone following us? But
because they're thinking about moving where it's not 700 degrees.
I think,
by the way,
like,
Kyla, really fast, Megan, you dropped it, but Kyla's asking, it's Upstate Curious is their Instagram handle, and she has 72,800 plus followers on Upstate Curious,
including one more because Bob just signed up.
No, I've been following.
I'm like, rude.
Yeah, I've been following for a long time. I mean, the first time I met Megan, I was like, I think you had 40,000 Instagram. I was like, what? You're really?
Yeah.
But you have a beautiful market that sets up very well for Instagram, much like many people do, I think. I think all of us could curate a version of our market that was beautiful to the general public.
Yeah. I will say that one thing that's interesting is that I've been really supporting the agents on my team to have their own Instagram and also their own newsletters. And you would think like, okay, this is happening because she has blah, 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 over 70,000 and this and whatever. But I have agents who have 1,500 followers who are absolutely getting business from it because they are targeted. I'm just like, just keep posting that you do staging and styling. Just keep posting that you're great at design. Just keep posting that you have a theater background, whatever it is. And I think that has been really interesting to me. We had our business planning meeting a week ago or so, and I said, how many of you guys have gotten leads from social media? Assuming it would be like the 5 people I know do it regularly. It was over 50% of the agents got direct leads from social media. By the way, and I should say here, I've been doing this and building this for the whole time I've been here. So since almost 10 years. Like, so this was not like I just launched it. It was like, it's
not
been,
an
You're not like an
overnight success
Instagram
story.
guru that can
No.
tell somebody how to get their first 10,000 followers in 30 days. Like you
go back 10 years ago, do it every day. That would be.
Yeah.
Or
Do
today.
you still, I mean, let's take a moment in the middle of this session that has nothing to do with the interview questions that we were supposed to talk about. And let's just ask, do you post every day? Is that step one? Do you post personal stuff? Like you said, someone with a theater background. So are they saying things like this and it's videos of them? Or is everything the property? Is it the property and then tomorrow I'm going to post pictures inside of it? Talk to us a little about the strategy you are using.
Yeah. So, as a marketing consultant for a number of years, I would have been very clear about, all the, like, I would have absolutely told clients they have to have a content strategy, they have buckets, they should do this. I just like literally have never done that. I've just been like, bloop, 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 like, what are we going to do? As we've gotten more listings, actually the personality I think has come out of it. And that I don't like, because if we have, I mean, not a problem I'm mad about, but if we have 8 listings to promote in a week, then the feed has to be listing, listing, listing. So do the stories. So the stories, though, which is the part that changes up at the top, like that is where I found a way to keep putting that personality in. And I really will. It actually does 2 things. It shows the lifestyle and the environment here. It also supports the local businesses often, and then they also repost things. So if I'm at a restaurant, I'll take a quick picture, say, I love the eggplant parmesan here. And then usually that restaurant will repost it. So I think we do it daily. Also now I've started to repost a lot of the things that agents are posting, which is also fun. And again, it could be as simple as whatever, driving to a listing appointment, or like it doesn't have to be complicated.
I noticed you guys do a lot of houses, and you mentioned it earlier. Like you said, I realized at some point, like we have beautiful houses here, and clearly that's the case. The thing that's the most fascinating to me as I scroll through your Instagram is when you guys post a cool house, how many times it gets shared, right? Like I'm looking at one from October 16th, just a random listing on here. I mean, it's a nice looking listing. It's on the lake. It's it's a nice listing. This thing had 548 likes, but to me, the craziest thing, 345 people sent this listing to a friend of theirs, right? To their husband or their partner, and was like, hey, like, look at this listing. Like, that's a massive number of shares on a property. That's crazy.
Well, and I'm glad you noticed that, because when we talk about when we're talking to clients or, potential, listings, sellers, listings, we'll be like, we have this amazing reach with Instagram. It is really focused on whatever, like buyers and agents who are serious about being here. But the 2 other things that are more important is the newsletter and the number of shares. Like if you're looking at Instagram, don't look at the number of likes. The shares, actually, that correlates almost directly with when we're going to sell it and for how much.
Hey, really, did the Gathered Stone house sell? That thing must have sold fast, because it had 2,400 shares. That's crazy to me that 2,400 people were like, look at this piece of real estate, honey. Like, look at this. Wow. That's insane.
And the thing that's interesting is that, there's 2 things I would say. One is that some houses go viral, just like anything goes viral, so it's like, so weirdly, when something goes more viral, I mean, not like, a jillion people, but like when it just gets more popular with non-followers, those are less likely to be actually relevant to the sale and more likely to be someone, hey, honey, look at this kitchen.
That's interesting. So when they
So
get too many shares, it's actually not necessarily the right people that are sharing it because they're not the people who
yeah.
are following you for that info.
Or
And,
when they
and
have,
folks,
I can see,
we
yeah.
just want everybody in the audience to get it right. We want you to understand what Megan's saying is do it daily. Right? It doesn't always have to be your listing. You might have some beautiful homes that are in your area that are not your listing. It doesn't matter. Use local the things that are going on as well, community events. Go take pictures of your local city's Christmas tree right now. Whatever that's going to be, just make sure you're posting something every day about either the properties or what life in your area is like. And you too, one day can be talking to Bob and Chad about something that got shared 2,400 times on your Instagram account. There's just so much we
Yeah.
want to talk about. I don't want to lose
Yeah.
where we could be going with this.
Well,
I
and
don't know,
that's
man.
where,
I want to talk about this more.
well, and that's where it's like what I was very intentional at the beginning. And, again, we have so many listings, but I was very intentional about commenting on other businesses' posts and resharing them. And, so that was really important for me because that got me like in front of people, and now, and only with stuff that I like I wasn't like making fun of it, but I just pushed myself a little more. If I saw something I liked, I would be like, click, share, whatever. And now you can see who you follow. Like if you follow someone, did they like this thing? So you really pop up more. And that was a really important aspect to it. And that actually interestingly led to a lot of real relationships with businesses for me. Because they would rate me then and be like, oh my God, thanks for sharing. We follow your thing. And I'd be like, it actually led to those real relationships. So that is the other part that people underestimate, I think.
Can we
Can
go
we
back to
circle
the
back?
newsletter, Bob?
Yeah. I was just going to circle back to the newsletter because I think the reason we even got over to Instagram, as you were saying,
Oh,
this
yeah.
newsletter is not just landing out of the blue on these people. Like they saw the what was that thing called, the stone house or whatever, that
Yeah.
it was on Instagram, and now we drop a newsletter on them that maybe has an element of talking about the stone house in there, and this stuff is all kind of connected. And so your brand with them, they see Upstate Curious here, they now get an email later from Upstate Curious. Of course they're going to be more likely to engage it because they're like, oh, they're the people that post the cool stuff upstate where we're thinking about moving one day.
Yeah. And that's where like if somebody goes to Instagram, they look at a house, especially if they go to the story and it's easy to link out, then they're going to our website, which is a Brivity website, and then we're capturing their information, and then they're in the newsletter, and then they're in our world, and then I think I mentioned this to you. One of the most amazing things about our database is that everybody we call has some idea who we are. Maybe they've forgotten. So like 90% are. But like when the agents call or our ISA calls, they're just like, oh, Upstate Curious. Cool. We don't need to do anything now, but great to hear from you. Like it is such a wild, when you generate leads organically, even if you generate 200, the reaction is completely different. I think it is different than if you're just buying Zillow leads or whatever.
Amen.
So what's below? Okay, so the first it's Megan's thought of the week. What is the rest of that thing? What's the content in the rest of it?
It's literally it's our listings. But as Chad, I mean, it's our listings, and then it's something we usually have something about like here's the open houses, and then something's about the market. Now, I mean, not really about the market. It's like I don't even know if we do this anymore, frankly. But it was like this this listing that we had sold for this much, so that it would give some indication of it. But we just keep it real easy for us, so we take the Instagram. So I also write the Instagram copy too. And that is where I use ChatGPT more. So I have 4 listings. So I will take the MLS listing that the agent writes, the listing copy. I will put it into ChatGPT where I have like totally trained it to like spit something out that's the right format. And, then I'll futz around with it a little bit. I choose currently the 10 photos that go on Instagram in a carousel. Those get then brought over to the newsletter where a GIF is created. So it's like scrolling around. So there is some aspect, there is actually a big aspect of it that's, I would say, editorial, where you're literally like, what is going to make people.
So there's a slideshow in your newsletter of the property. Like it's going through the images.
You're not cranking all this. Like you write the copy at the top, and you have a VA on your team that goes out and builds a newsletter. There's a process behind this thing. It's not like Megan's putting together the newsletter.
Good question, because I kept hearing her saying, "Well, then I do this, then I do that, then I do this," but I has leverage, correct?
Yeah, the leverage is like after I pick those photos, after I write that copy, then it goes into the different places. Then it goes into Instagram, then it goes into the newsletter. For a while I was trying to have people pick the photos, which, someday I'll be able to. But then I realized that like this is actually our most important lead generation tool and tool for marketing our listing. So if I have to take a minute and pick 10 photos, that's probably okay. I will also say, interestingly, that everything that we've tried to do that's not houses does not do as well as just houses. So, because this is why Zillow is so popular. Like, people like to look at houses, but not in a like for sale, blah, blah. I mean,
so you're giving them what they want in the newsletter. You're not saying, "Oh, let me give you this crap that I think you should read." You're saying, "You want houses. That's what you're clicking on. So I'm just going to give you the houses."
Yeah, and then that's why it gives me a little space in that intro to be like, oh my God, there's Christmas tree farms here. So cute. Here's a couple of them. Like, I never could have imagined in Brooklyn that blah, blah, blah. For Instagram, where we put that content, like you were talking about, I went to an event, I went to a restaurant, that's in the stories. So that is really like it doesn't generally go into the feed, which is more static, which for larger accounts actually gets way, like the reach has been really bad compared to, so it's funny because it used to be that we would get like 3,500 likes on those popular ones. And anyways, different conversation about how the algorithm has changed for larger accounts, but
yes.
Okay. Let's see. We got 4 minutes left. Real quick. Let's just, because we originally were going to talk, you have an ISA. Can you just talk for me about how that's gone for you and kind of where you point that person?
So this is okay. So we're generating all these leads. We're doing all this stuff. We have a database. We have 16,000 people in our opportunity pond that's not associated with an individual agent. We have 16,000 people leads that are associated. They're in the agents' databases.
Okay.
Never had an ISA. We never really called through. So step number one was training the agents to call through the databases. Thanks to, again, our place partners and Brivity partners being like, you're really
a bunch of people that want to hear from you guys.
Opportunity here who are engaged. So since we hired our ISA, Cecilia, who's amazing, through the Brivity like pilot program, I mean, it had so many agents were like, meh, don't listen to that. But like, they were like, we don't think that'll work. Well, he is just finding lead after lead after lead, which then inspires the agents to also call through. So it absolutely has a double impact. Right before this thing, he found a $3 million buyer lead. What's that doing? What's that just hanging out in the database for? One of our brand new agents calling the opportunity pond, her first deal was $1.6 million. Our average price point in our area is $450,000. So these are huge numbers for us. So he started working on the opportunity pond in general, saw some success, and then we started saying, great, we're going to have him with our managing partners and senior partners dedicate some time, offered it to other agents, which then becomes an amazing retention and recruitment tool to be like, we will have someone calling through your database. It's been great. That was where they were the most nervous. And as they saw the results.
Yeah, as they were like, wait, this guy can just, out of the coldness of the deep, dark pond, can generate real people for us. Clearly out of the less murkiness of my personal database, that he would be able to do the same thing. I love that.
They should be able to do the same thing.
I love that. I'm not sure I've ever given ISAs, like amazing ones like Cecilia, enough credit for the impact they can have on the agents who are watching them do the thing that we're asking them to do, right? We're like, hey, there's business in that pond. And they're like, I don't know. And Cecilia was like, no, seriously, like here's a $3 million one. Here's a $1.4 million one. And then they're like, oh, wait, okay, let me go in there.
And the ones that we're supporting with this are doing, so much business that they're like, great. Like, it's like the TCs. I'm like, they should be calling their like the cream of the crop, like leads, like the referral partners, like who give us a they give us a referral, or like their past client's best friend or whatever. They need to be talking to those people, but the people they're not talking to, and they hadn't been. But again, it's more motivating once you see that it's working and you're like, everyone loves me. They're going to just come back to me. Well, maybe they talk to their neighbor who's an agent in the meantime. We know this. I want to get those people.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. All right. I could talk to you all day about this stuff. I feel like I want to have you back just to talk about Instagram. Like, I know we spent 15 of our 30 minutes today doing that, but that page is really, really awesome. Megan Brenn White, thank you so much for taking the time to join Chad and I, or I don't know, Gandalf and I, or whatever.
Hey, it's Santa hat, people.
Santa, sorry. Thank you, Megan. It was an absolute honor. You have an amazing business up there. I'm proud to be a small partner in that with you guys here at
Big
Place.
Partner. So, you guys have been so important for this. Like, really, without Brivity, this wouldn't be happening. Which, cool. I mean, for real. So,
well, you guys, hey, we'll give you the platform to run it from. You guys show up every day and do the hard work. So we'll let you get back to your 25 agents and all the hard work in the Instagram account. Upstate Curious, you guys, if you want a really awesome follow and a great model for how you could do this in your own market. It doesn't have to be a second home market with beautiful houses. I guarantee every single one of you guys have some beautiful houses in your market. Megan, have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Christmas. Chad, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, all the stuff. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next year. Woo.